Hey, how are you? Welcome to this episode of Atomic Radio Hour. My name's Vince. I'm about to introduce you to my friend Spencer in just a moment. This is an episode that I've been talking about doing with my friend for just a little bit of amount of time, pretty much since the show had come out, the Fallout show. Welcome to Atomic Radio Hour, post-nuclear podcast. And we were talking about what we think should be the true ending of New Vegas, regardless of whatever the show says. Like, you know, just a pretend that didn't come out. And we had been having this conversation off and on at work for a very, very long time. And I had something I had to attend to. And I thought, hey, why not invite him over, set up a nice little recording area, studio, session, what have you, and get together. It'll be fun. Nice way to pass the time. So, before we get into all that, I have to thank some people. On screen are the Patreon names. Thank you guys so much for supporting. Because of you, I can try these things. There's a lot of props, there's a lot of things that were on camera and off camera that you didn't see that I used the Patreon to help make it happen. The names I gotta thank real quick. Sorry that this is quicker than usual, but I'm already about to, I gotta get on a plane in a few hours, and I had to do this real quick. I want to thank you to Noah. I want to thank you to Willy DuWitt. I want to thank you to Mellow Milhouse. I would like to thank Captain Leonox. I would also like to say thank you to DanishHoundDog and Brotherhood Outcast. Thank you guys so much for your patronage. Thank you so much for your support. Because of you guys, stuff like this continues to happen. I can try stuff. I can have fun. Because you guys are here to help support. Thank you. So now, without further ado, I would like to give you a debate. It's one of the longest, if not the longest episodes I've ever done. And it's a friendly debate. We're not making fun of each other's moms or whatever. It's just two friends who love a thing talking about it passionately. Take it away, me. Thanks, me. Appreciate it. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Vince. This is my friend here.
Hi, I'm Spencer.
Hi, everybody. So Spencer and I work together.
Yes, we do.
That's fair to say.
That's how we met, so I think that's fair.
We have been having the same conversation for, about a year, because the show came out about a year ago.
Yeah, when did we do all that overtime? Was that last spring?
Fucking, yeah.
Fallout,
so Fallout Saturday or Fallout Friday. Actually, probably like almost to the date.
Yeah, because it would have been before I went to, so a little over a year, because it would have been before I went to Texas last March.
Cool. And as you can see behind me, we have two ideologies of how New Vegas should end and what is best for Vegas. We were having a rather heated conversation at work, and if you're watching this, I'm not currently home. I'm probably doing something else, and I thought, hey, let's switch up the burners, let's switch up something, and do something different. So we're here, and we're going to debate over which one we think. It's a friendly debate. It's not like we're going to sit here and whatever, yell at each other and insult one another, hopefully. But it's something that I thought would be fun. Yeah, I'm just hoping this is somewhere we can both get our ideas out and kind of have it. And I want to hear from you, so leave a comment or join the Discord, link in the thing below, and let us know what you think. I would like to acknowledge that this is my show, my YouTube channel. This is also my apartment. We're filming on all of my equipment, so it is a bit of a home field advantage for me. I couldn't get a moderator. I had plans to have another friend moderate who doesn't know much about Fallout stuff, but to just go, hey, asshole, you're getting loud for no reason again. But they couldn't make it. So I will be giving Spencer the final word when it comes down to the definitive end of this. So do you want to open it, or should I open it?
Okay. Let's do some opening arguments.
Okay.
It is your show, so you go first.
I would like to start by saying that I do not think that Caesar is a good person. I do not agree with most of the things that he is saying.
Bona fides out there?
What's that?
Your bona fides.
I'm just saying that now. I don't agree with slavery. I don't agree with the treatment of women. I don't agree with the decimation of people. I don't agree with the way he treats his soldiers. I don't. My main point is that the NCR also is not good for the wastes, and having Caesar win Hoover Dam is what's going to reset everything. And that's what I think the show is going to lead up to.
I mean, call me a sneering imperialist. I do not think that the NCR is bad for the wastes. It seems, I mean, if you had to judge the quality of life, right? Because, you know, we have to work within the context of Fallout. The quality of life of wastelanders who live in the NCR versus, like, on the fringe of the NCR versus outside the NCR. obviously you want to move east or move
Where?
west.
Where?
I mean,
That's my biggest question: is where?
I mean, look at the way that like Freesiders live versus the NCR farmsteads and stuff. Sure, you have to pay taxes, you have to follow some rules. There's resources, there's shelter, there's protection.
Sure, but I feel like Freeside is the community I'd want to live in. See, but here's the thing, because you have the Big Circle, and I feel like the Big Circle are the only communities that are really truly protected under NCR.
I mean, yeah, you've got the home city.
You have the
basically.
hub, Shady Sands. Like, not even bringing into consideration what happened in the show, because that's such an external force.
Yeah.
And even what they show you of Shady is so protected.
And the time they spend in Shady is clearly nice.
So, if you live in Shady, yeah, you probably have, rudimentary... I wouldn't be surprised if you have rudimentary television. Honestly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You probably have, from 7 a.m. to, 7 p.m., there is a block of channels that are shown and, whatever.
Yeah.
You definitely have radio. Because even Travis and 4 has radio. Three Dog has radio.
They've got radio in New Vegas.
So, you have that. You probably have grocery stores. You probably have genuine things of commerce. Sure, go 50 miles out of Shady Sands. What does it look like? That's my biggest thing.
I mean, at the end, it is a wasteland.
Sure.
This is a universe. This is a world that was fundamentally destroyed, and so they're doing what they can. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if there is if there's a green belt around Shady Sands, maybe. Although it's crazy. I mean, Shady Sands is in the Great Basin Desert.
And it's lush.
And it's lush. Doesn't really make any sense without a Gek, I guess, but Fallout has magic for stuff like that.
Do they not? Did Shady never get a Gek?
I think they do get
Shady
a Gek.
does have a Gek.
Yeah, they get a Gek. That's the whole point of 2, I thought. No, that's Arroyo gets a Gek.
Arroyo gets the Gek in 2, but if I remember correctly, Vault 15 does have a Gek. But their Gek is way more rudimentary than what it would become later, because... in Aurora, at the end of 2, when it shows you what the Gek does for it, they live in pueblos with electricity. They live in house-ass houses.
Yeah, they live in... They have that, sandcrete, or whatever they call it. They have a concrete analog.
But for Shady Sands, it seems like they had just had crops. The Gek just had crops and, maybe basic understanding of how to build something.
Environmental.
Yeah, there's, I think, and I could be wrong when I say this, but I'm pretty sure part of the Gek is that it purifies water. Definitely purifies water. Because that's why they
a lot of the Vault
3.
stuff is about purifying water.
Well, so we can get back to talking about how Caesar's right for the wasteland, but the main thing that I noticed with my friend who I used to do the show with was every game's just about water. And, how are you going to... that's what I think is so interesting about the show, is it's not technically just about water.
True.
The first one is my chip. The second one is my people are dying. This thing will purify the water and save everything. The third one is quite literally we're trying to bring fresh water to the wasteland. 4's economy is entirely run on water.
That's true. The best way to get rich in 4 is to become a water merchant.
Yeah. 76 is...
Funnily enough, I feel like the first 2 start as about water and become about something else.
Yeah, sure.
And then the 3 and 4 start about some other shit.
And then become about water. Yeah. So your main arguments being that... I'd rather live in Freeside over Shady Sands. Because I feel... And this is because...
Really?
Because... and we haven't really explored Shady Sands.
Can't even get a tetanus shot in Freeside. Well, I guess
get a tetanus shot in Shady.
I guess there's the followers of the apocalypse. They probably have tetanus shots.
Well, thank you.
Okay, well then you go to the missionary free clinic.
No, but there seems like there's more of a sense of community in Freeside, but also we haven't seen any of...
I was about to say, we haven't seen Shady Sands after... So, yeah, that's a fair argument. 2.
Fair argument. And the version of Shady we've seen now is a crater.
Yeah.
So,
and in Fallout 2, it seems fine. It seems nice. It's a big statue of you. No, the last guy. I just think in general... Because, I would not want to live anywhere ruined still. That's the big draw for me of the NCR, is that they're the first group that makes things not ruined anymore. And even the Minutemen and all that stuff on the East Coast seem to have been content
with just living in ruins.
Living in the ruins.
Yeah, but Diamond City isn't like that.
No, because they had the stadium that wasn't ruined. But the parts that are ruined, they didn't fix.
They just built upon.
Yeah, they just ignore. And it's well, that's that. And also, fundamentally, Diamond City is a great is a great post-apocalyptic settlement in the immediate post-apocalypse. It's a big baseball stadium. We can close it off. We can protect ourselves. It has a really hard cap on how many people can live in it. Because,
Well, there was actually someone in the comments recently was telling me the concept art for that, like the project design, was very much the people who lived in the stands were the rich people, and they looked down on the people. And I didn't know any of this because I never looked into it.
Yeah, if you in the game, if you look around, there's like that one nice area under the mayor's office, but then most of the stands look empty.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be filled with, which is such a more fun concept. It just sucks that I could bitch about Fallout 4 all day. It's a game that needed another, like how New Vegas needed more than 18 months.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 needed another 18 months.
I feel like, if anything, it's weird, because like I told you, I feel like every Bethesda Fallout game includes at least one really cool settlement idea. Like, I fundamentally love the idea of Rivet City from Fallout 3. Yeah. And I think it's really well done in Fallout 3. In Fallout 4... Diamond City is a great idea. It's not executed that well. And again, it's like they will eventually have to branch out into the surrounding city ruins.
Yeah.
It's not a long-term solution.
But I mean, we gotta get back
Diamond
to
City
this.
can never declare war on anybody.
Why would they? But why would they want? Why is that where you go to though? Like, why?
I guess that makes sense. Let me rephrase that. Diamond City cannot effectively defend large areas.
Well, that's what the Minutemen were for.
Yes, and they collapse.
Yeah,
because.
But I mean, that's arguably that's.
I don't
want
to get into an anti-libertarian argument, but
that's arguably just the themes of the series.
That's true.
Is just when someone has power, it collapses. Because
every government innately breaks.
Yeah, like anybody who assumes any sort of power is wrong.
Even the message of the NCR is that it breaks, right?
Yeah.
By New Vegas, I will admit, the NCR is really dropping the ball in Mojave.
I wouldn't even be so mad at the NCR for being in the Mojave if they would have waited 10 years. Like if they would have waited 10 years. Like they didn't want to be there. They got there. It became Kimball's War. Like most people back in Shady, most people back in other parts of NCR, like my taxes are going towards this.
But I mean, like that was the NCR's original approach. Is that they wanted to use Hoover Dam. They wanted to move into the area. Their investment in the Mojave is a reaction to the Legion. Like Caesar shows up and is an enormous threat, and the only way that they can secure this new vital infrastructure that they found, which the Hoover Dam would be incredibly valuable to the NCR,
of course.
And powder gangers, they're building trains into the area. Like they're trying to turn New Vegas into part of the NCR proper.
The powder gangers?
Yeah, the powder gangers, they're building train tracks. That's the whole...
The powder gangers are, or you're talking about the NCRCF?
Well, okay, so the NCRCF, their original mission was to build train tracks.
That's and then they became the powder gangers. That's what you're saying. Okay.
The powder gangers are obviously killing people.
No, that's... I wanted to make sure I understood what you were saying.
But there's still the remnants of the train infrastructure from the pre-war that I think they're trying to build on.
Did you ever read Walking Dead?
Not the comics. I mean, I've read about the comics, but I haven't.
There's a character who, like, his main mission towards the end of the run, I won't spoil it, we'll get right back to it, but I thought it was interesting, was connect the East and the West by train again. That was, like, his main thing.
I mean, it was incredibly valuable when we did it the first time.
Yeah.
But the NCR, clearly, it is in their interest, and I mean, I looked it up, so even Josh Sawyer, he says, the NCR is interested in protecting Vegas sincerely, and they've sacrificed a lot to do so. It's in their self-interest, obviously.
Yeah.
They're going to get something out of it. But they are still expending resources to defend the people of the Mojave from the Legion. At the end of the day, that's their mission, is to protect against the Legion. Their own interests and the people of the Mojave happen to be part of those interests. I think that's fine. We're in a and it's not like the people of the Mojave had a pre-existing culture or state. Like the Strip is a manufactured pseudo culture created off of House's ideas of the pre-war, and he erased the original culture of those tribes to create it. Arguably, the only real culture to come out of the Mojave is like the Fiends and I guess the Boomers.
I wouldn't say the Boomers because it's leftover pre-war stuff.
You're right. It's still leftover pre-war stuff. So their imperialism is very kind of low stakes. It's not like they're erasing anything. They're filling the void of the Mojave, which is like 10 scattered towns with casinos into society again. They're bringing civilization back to this area that has always been on the edges, right? I mean, even now, the desert, we consider it like, the playground, basically. It's like it's away from society.
What do you mean that you consider the desert the playground?
I mean, like that's like literally... No, I mean, like in our modern day, like Las Vegas is called like an adult playground. Like we think of it as someplace you go, someplace that's away from
everything.
The real world.
Yeah, because it's in the middle of nowhere and it's 4,000 degrees all the time.
It's like you literally couldn't live here without all this technology.
Would you go to Fallout Day in Good Springs?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I really want to go.
I would really like to go as well.
They're charging this year.
Really?
They're charging. It's like $30 for the 3 days or whatever.
That's pretty reasonable.
But like they,
and you're right, and you're like what, an hour from Las Vegas?
Yeah, but what? I called this. I knew it. I knew it was going to happen. I'm not upset about it. It's a convention.
Especially because with the show.
Yeah.
And there's definitely going to be a new game within the next 15 years.
Well.
Okay. 20? I
think Bethesda will look at what they've done and go, how do we improve upon this? And I think that's why they always take mods. And they go, let's make the mod just an actual part of the game. And I think that's why Starfield took forever. And I think that's why Elder Scrolls 6 is going to take forever. And that's why we're not getting Fallout 5 until like 31. Because they're going to take every second they can with it to make sure that it isn't a voice protagonist, that it isn't like...
I feel like that's not necessarily Bethesda's MO. I don't necessarily
I think at
agree.
this point, because they got Microsoft giving them money, they have to.
Fair enough.
Because Microsoft will be like, no, this game needs to be finished before it comes out.
Yeah, also it should probably be good.
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things is the precedent that Tandy set.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tandy's setting the precedent of pragmatism and the precedent of we need to expand constantly, to the point of getting the Brotherhood involved, when the Brotherhood like, we want nothing to do with politics. We just want to make sure what happens to Shady Sands in 2297, whatever year that is, in the show, doesn't ever happen again. And then it happens again.
But I mean, that's Maxon's original idea for the Brotherhood. I mean, we talked about how the Brotherhood degrades from there. Like you were saying, even in the first game,
I should have wrote those things
Elder
down.
Maxon says that the Council disagrees with him about the direction of the Brotherhood, because like all insular military dictatorships with singular ideological goals, it went south and became an insular military dictatorship.
Yeah.
I mean, not that hard to see coming.
And that's the argument that I was making when we were talking about this at work, was very much, it's... how much of an idea stays alive when the person walks away?
Yeah.
Perfect example. I'm going to use this show as an example. For 160-something episodes, 150-something episodes, I did it with another person.
Yeah.
This is coming out, it's 345 or 346, 340, whatever it falls around. I've doubled the amount of episodes that is just me.
Yeah, you kind of embodied it now.
How much of the original idea is here? And how much of the original idea is gone? How much of it has changed? And that's just a metamorphosis that happens just from being alive and doing shit differently.
How much of this original idea do you really think you need to keep?
Sure.
Because, because for YouTube show is different, but for a military order, I can understand it. It's
Tandy's...
strange.
God, how old is she? She's like 19?
She's in
17,
her teens.
19?
She's in her teens in the first game.
I don't think she's 20. But she's a kid.
Yeah, she's a child.
She's a kid, essentially. She's a kid. And then after the events of Fallout 1, in I believe it's 2162, after the events of Fallout 1, Aradesh goes to look for the Vault Dweller.
Yeah.
He wants to go find that person because he wants that person to help build the NCR in Shady. Because after the events of Fallout 1, still in 2161, I believe. No, I'm sorry. The game starts in December of 2161.
Yeah.
So it would be 2162-ish.
Yeah, so it's the end of 2160.
Towards the end of 2162, they officially, Seth, Tandy, and Aradesh start NCR.
Yes. And that's part of the end slides for the first game, is that the NCR will grow.
Yes. So, Aradesh dies a few years later. Now a child is in charge of all of this other shit.
Is it ever... Do we know exactly how long between the end of Fallout 1 and Aradesh's death, how long that is? Because if it was like 10 years and she was 25 or something, or if it was even longer than that, then I could totally understand it. Especially because, like we in a modern society, we could understand like, oh, well, that's probably nepotism that Tandy won the election right after her father's death. But
it's longer than I remembered. So excuse me. Shady Sands is 2162, and Aradesh and Tandy were the key driving forces behind the establishment of the new California Republic, with Aradesh serving as its first president until he died in 2196.
Okay, so he gets almost 20 years.
Yeah. No, 30. 2161.
Oh, yeah, 60-90 is 30 years, not 20
So,
years.
excuse me. I get all of my lore off of FalloutOfFandom.com, the Nukapedia, if you will.
So 30 years.
Huh. So he had 30 years of rule.
So that means that before she even takes power, she's at least 40, right? She's at least 40.
Yeah.
And so that's time for her to grow in her father's shadow as the leader of these people. And then when she dies, obviously, because fundamentally the people of the NCR were tribals a generation ago, 2 generations ago.
15 minutes ago. 15 minutes ago, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, they're still I don't know, these spears. They work.
Yeah.
Why are we guns?
There are spots of civilizational development among water barons, and eventually there are Brahmin barons and stuff. But when she takes power, they're still basically tribals and the children of tribals. So I can totally understand them being obviously.
She's 16 when you meet her in Fallout 1.
So she takes power at 46.
At 46.
And what?
40,
has power for
46-ish.
50 fucking years?
She dies at age 103.
56 years. 57
Roughly.
years of power.
It doesn't say when she's not president, though.
She dies in office, I thought.
She dies in 2248.
Jesus. She does just before Fallout 3, basically.
This is from the official New Vegas game guide. Collector's edition. So if you have it at home, check out page 458. Important dates. 2196, Tandy, Aradesh's daughter, is unanimously elected as president president by the NCR Council. So not even by the people, by the council.
Maybe the NCR has an electoral college system.
Like we have?
Yeah, maybe
and that's always worked. That's always been good.
Yeah, well, and also, I mean, it would probably be kind of hard for them to run a one-person, one-vote election before they had a lot of infrastructure down.
Her popularity is to prove enduring. She will continue to serve in office until her death in 2248 at the age of 103. In 2248, President Tandy takes ill and dies at the age of 103. Her presidency lasted 52 years. Vice President Joanne Tibbet assumes office and is loosely believed to be her lover.
Really?
Yeah, it's loosely implied that Tandy was lesbian. And
her and this 103-year-old woman.
Yeah. How old was this person? I'm not gonna. I could go down that rabbit hole all day.
Let's not imagine. But
Caesar says it. How much of a democracy is it when you're president for 53 years?
That is reasonable. I'd say that you could probably argue that the Aradesh Tandy era is a nascent democracy.
What do you mean nascent?
It hasn't really formed yet. So they have the idea that they want to build this old world style republic, and technically, I hate to pull a fucking alt-right thing, but republic does not mean democracy. It means that the ruler is a member of the public and not of an aristocratic class. That's what it means.
Wait, hold on. So it's seize the means of government?
Pretty much.
Get the fuck out of here.
Pretty much. So when
and that's
Plato,
an alt-right thing to lean into.
Which
is a communist idea.
The argument is that we're a republic, not a democracy. That's why the Electoral College isn't fundamentally un-American. It is fundamentally un-American, but regardless. Well, how fundamentally un-American can it be if it's been part of America forever? I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's like saying that racism is fundamentally American.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. We have this idea that it would not be right, but whatever. So I could see that you could argue that Aradesh and Tandy, they form this first era. But then after that, we see that the presidencies get really short. I don't know how long Tibbetts is, but I know Kimball's only been president for maybe a decade?
Well, the first Battle of Hoover Dam is 77, right?
77, and the game takes place in 81.
So he becomes...
So that's one term. So assuming that he'd been president already, he might have been president for 8 years, maybe?
Again, I'm not going to read that. That's the thing.
Yeah, don't read the Gemini thing. It'll lie to us. President Aaron Kimball was elected in 1975.
Yeah. I mean, this says Aradesh from 2189, so that's wrong.
I think of all the presidents of the NCR.
Oh, maybe it's not wrong.
Of all the presidents of the NCR, like 3 of the 5 or so.
No, okay, so we're wrong on that because this on the Fallout Wiki, the Nukipedia, if you will, it says Aradesh doesn't take office until 2189.
That's probably, they're setting that as like the date that the NCR starts or something, but he was clearly the leader before that.
Sure.
Like he's the leader of
Shady Sands. Yeah. So there's only 6 presidents.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I thought there were 5. There's 6.
Because of the show.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's Aradesh.
So there were 5 in the game.
Aradesh from 2189 to 2196, Tandy from 2196 to 2248, Joanne Tibbett from 2248 to 2253, Wendell Peterson.
One term. 2248 to 2053 would be one
That's
term.
4 years?
It's 4 years, and then she left early in 58 and 52.
Wendell Peterson, 2253 to 2273.
So it's 20 years. They probably have 10-year... I'd assume that the NCR presidency is a 10-year term, and that
10 TEN, not tenure.
No,
10 year.
10 year.
Okay.
And Tibbett served out the rest of Tandy's term.
Kimball starts in 2273. And this says, I don't know where they're getting the idea, but 2282, if that's the end of Hoover Dam, like the end of the battle.
Because 2281 is the Battle of Hoover Dam.
The second one. Then
in the show, it says 2281 and then a big mushroom cloud. So I guess this is assuming that the NCR is just that Aaron Kimball dies during the Shady Sands bombing in 2282 or about.
Okay.
Because then because I remember I told you see his picture in the memorial.
And then it says here that Lee Moldaver
Can I see water?
Is a
was she ever officially
it says
president?
That she's president or a leader of a rogue faction.
Yes, she is kind of the acting president of the NCR.
I also don't think NCR is gone. I just think NCR is gone in California.
Well, if those leaks, if those set leaks are anything to go by, I'm hoping they're alive and well.
Well, don't spoil anything because it hasn't come out yet. That's like the one thing. You and I have spoken about it, but I've spoken about it on here.
No spoilers. Just I have looked at the.
I have a feeling it's remnant stuff. Like without getting super into it, I have a feeling it's a lot of remnant stuff.
We'll see.
There's significant. We could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Anyway.
This isn't a Fallout Show leaks podcast. So that's a great topic though.
What?
A Fallout TV show leaks?
Yeah, but it's milk. It ages so quick. It's good for this amount of time.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? And also how long can I talk about leaked set design? You know what I mean? I could do it for 10 minutes. Can I do it for 2 hours?
Yeah, maybe a segment. Anyway, because I could talk about it for 25 minutes. Easy.
Exactly.
But so the presidencies get shorter. Not super short. 20 years is still a long time to be president.
But 50 fucking 3 years is a long ass time to be in control.
But
also, hold on, pause. This is another thing I want to talk about. Caesar is in command, right?
Nominally.
He's in command for what amount of time? Like, I'll even be the person to say he might be in command for too long, especially because he has a fucking brain tumor.
He has a brain tumor, yes.
Like, I will be Biden shouldn't have been the fucking president. I'm surprised he's not dead right now. Like, I expected January 22nd there were going to be, flags at half-mast because Jimmy Carter died.
Joe Biden has actually secretly been dead for 6 weeks.
Joe Biden was Jimmy Carter's babysitter. Like, that's how fucking old he was. That's not true, but still, there's a point where you're too old to do something. You're too inhibited by, and I'll say, absolutely, Caesar is too old, or not too old, too fucked up in the brain mentally because of his tumor to be in charge.
He's also a lunatic.
He is a lunatic. I'm not saying that his politics are right.
It's important that we establish that the Legion is based on the ravings of a lunatic.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm never gonna say that he's not.
Okay.
I believe that to be salient
because Caesar forms the Legion in response to the NCR's post-Tandy era, which I would argue is when they're becoming more democratic, like the form of the NCR presented in New Vegas. What
defines a democracy?
Well, strictly that the people vote on matters of government. What matters of government get voted on by how many people, those are the gradations.
The dictatorship of Kaiser is founded in 2247.
Yeah, so he's reacting to Tandy. So he's right before Tandy's death.
I love that Google's so broken when you find Caesar's Legion on Google, the first thing that shows up is a modded screenshot.
Really?
It's modded textures. It's not base game.
To be fair, I think if you show people pictures of unmodded Fallout New Vegas, it's considered torture.
No. It's got such a nice patina.
I play a vanilla install, and it's hard to look at, brother.
Really?
It's hard. That game is ugly.
Before you go, I gotta show you it on Series X, because it's not great, but they upscale the textures and shit.
The current Steam build is ugly as sin.
Yeah. But that's also because it's Steam, and it's like if you want to upgrade the textures, they're out there now for free, so just figure it out.
Yeah, I could install the mod.
But like I hate when I see someone, like I'll go to like try to find a Fallout lore thing, and they'll be like, that's modded weapon, that's modded armor. Like, it was one thing when it was the storyteller because they had made their own kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's like, this dude is showing me a lore video on, like, the bottle caps and how to go get Pew Pew, and he's just wearing Stormtrooper armor. And it's pristine. You know what I mean? Like, it takes me out of it. There was a mod. Well, I feel like Skyrim was different because I don't like fantasy that much.
It became a joke in Skyrim. It became a meme.
So when the moon was the Majora's Mask moon, I was like, oh, that's fun.
Let me get my horse and Thomas the Tank Engine runs up.
Yeah. All I'm saying is an idea dies out whenever the person, a part of it, leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's we see that with presidential elections. We see that, you know, you were just saying, I don't know if we said it on recording or if we said it before we started actually like doing the show, that Funhouse or Bernie Burns had bought Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, back. He bought by Rooster Teeth.
So he's one of the first dudes, right?
Yeah, he was one of the two founders.
So I can picture his voice. He's got like the really like distinct voice.
It's not that distinct. I don't feel like.
If it's the dude I
feel like Bernie Burns gives off dad energy just by.
Is he Caboose?
No, he's Church.
I'm not super well familiar with. Anyway, if it's just him and they're just bringing back Red versus Blue, how much of what Rooster Teeth once was is going to change? And it has to change.
It'll be a new era.
Because of it's a new era, it's a new this, a new that. He now has to rebuild the legacy because of how Rooster Teeth failed, and now has to kind of the same way G4 failed.
True.
G4 failed and it came back, and then within 11 months it died again.
Yeah, because I mean, they couldn't.
No one wanted to watch it.
I did watch some of the Reboot X Play.
Yeah,
but that's all
I ever wanted to watch.
All I was interested in it because
you didn't watch Attack of the Show.
No, I didn't.
Attack of the Show was this. It was this with ad breaks.
Yeah,
and if you were on Twitch,
I watched the original Attack of the Show with Olivia Munn.
It was amazing.
It was great.
And Kevin Pereira.
It was funny, and it was zippy. And then they brought it back, and I feel like this is a problem with several like new media things. They go too broad, like they have too much cast. Yeah. And it's like one of the really big strengths of the original X-Play was that it was two hosts. That was it. Morgan Webb and Adam Sessler. If you can't make it work with these two, you can't do it on this show. Yeah. Which means that it was tight and it was focused.
So then they brought in 7 people. Adam Sessler was never there.
He did. I thought it was funny. He did like Skype level content.
Yeah,
like he'd do reviews sitting at his computer. It's kind of like on a webcam.
Like I remember when G4 came back, it was like you should apply. You could apply. It was like we want content creators.
Yeah,
and the old host of the show and myself were like, yo, we gotta. I was like, first off, I gotta
go for that.
I love X Play. I was like, G4 is like a huge part of my childhood. Also, she was trans, so I was like, if they don't accept you.
True.
And, you know, it was just...
discrimination.
Yeah, of course. But it was just one of those things where I found out that, like, Kasim G was on it, and the Completionist... You hear what happened to the Completionist? He's been, like, hoarding money for years.
Oh,
He's got, like, millions in a PayPal account that he never donated to charity. And I think his channel's gone. We could talk about this, like, off camera, but, like, look into his shit, because Mudahar was doing a thing on him, and he was like, yeah, man, he's like, I'm just kind of done with YouTube, but he's like... Dude, just give the money to charity. He's like, well, you know, it's kind of like locked up. And he's like, it's in a PayPal account. He's like, you've shown me the PayPal account. It's in
a bank account.
Yeah, he's like, just go get a card. Go get a fucking PayPal card. It'll take a week to get to your house. Or write a check. Move the money into an account, write a check.
Yeah, put it in a regular bank account.
But like, they all found out that G4 went under on Twitter.
Really?
Because people were tweeting them like, I'm so sorry that it went under, that whatever.
Went under, drowned.
Yeah. So... The point I'm getting at is Caesar's been one vision.
Yes, Caesar is the driving force
vision
behind the original version of the Legion. But,
But it's changed.
And the fundamental crux for our argument here is what's best for the Mojave after the game.
Yes, and it's the Legion.
After the game, it's not Caesar's Legion anymore. It's Lanius's Legion.
Okay.
It's the Legion of the masked psychopath.
And this is what I think. I think this will be its downfall. This is what I think Caesar's Legion's downfall will be.
But that assumes that the Legion will collapse, and also that what it leaves behind will be any better. Look at the examples of history. When Alexander's empire collapsed, it's not like everyone just got their stuff back. His generals carved it up into little kingdoms and ruled it for decades, centuries. That is what would happen to Caesar's Legion, is that it won't just all be Lanius's Legion, it'll be Lanius's Legion, Vulpus's Legion, whoever else's Legion.
If Vulpus would have become the Legatus like he was supposed to become, then I would absolutely be like, I would honestly probably be on House's side. Because it's independent Vegas, of course, but let's take that one out of the equation because that's the I have the power trip I want.
Yeah, that's the I don't worry, I'll fix it answer.
Yeah, if I didn't do it, it's not done right, ass looking motherfucker, whatever. I would honestly probably go with House in that situation because as much as House is the old world personified in the new world,
literally. You were dogging on me because the NCR is trying to emulate the old world. House is literally the old world. But House only
wants this. He wants this. He wants this much.
Yeah, but he wants the worst parts.
And?
He looks back and he's like, you know what I want from the old world? I want capitalism and labor exploitation and industrialization.
And I'm not one for that. I think all of that is evil. I think all of it should be done away with. It's this much because House understands that there is power in numbers, and when you can keep the numbers controlled and concise, then you have the power.
And also, he only wants this much right now because he needs this much to leave Earth.
Yes,
because that is House's plan: is to leave Earth and go somewhere else, where things are nice, so he can do the outer worlds.
But you really think that House is going to go to the Repcon rockets and be like, "These are mine now"?
Yes,
I don't think so. Yes, I don't think he would. I don't even think Hoover Dam House would have taken for himself and put he would have put Securitrons there because it would have fueled.
The Securitron update allows House to use them like an army. Why wouldn't he? That's my argument. If he can use them like an army, he will.
Sure.
And that would lead to, I don't think that technology is going to be his for the take.
I don't think that would lead to land development, really. I think he would sit there and go, I can make all this money right here, right now.
It wouldn't lead to any of the land except Vegas being developed. What would happen is that the Securitrons would become like claws dragging resources into Vegas, and then you would have this walled off techno enclave that's launching rockets and crap.
You don't think he would try to get the king in on his side?
I don't think so. You
don't think that he respects the followers? You don't think he would try to get the followers to work with him?
I don't think House respects anybody.
Really?
Every time House talks about anybody who isn't House, he has this kind of dripping sort of of course I'm better.
I think House thinks he's better than everyone else, but I think he also sees when he can use somebody for their talents. And I think he would see
he sees the benefits of the followers being in Freeside because it provides free healthcare for the people who come to Vegas, and he wants them to be healthy because he wants them to pay him. But he had the opportunity to work with the Kings, and he doesn't. At any time, House could expand Vegas out to Freeside and incorporate the Kings, and incorporate the followers, but they didn't want to play the game. The three families, they were like,
have the Kings ever been has the Kings ever been spoken to we want you to work with us? Has that ever happened?
I don't know.
Because I always consider them as the fourth Vegas family, the fourth Vegas tribe, because of the power vacuum.
I see it as I don't have any evidence of this from the game. My interpretation of it is that they are the failed candidate. The three families are the ones that House got to work with. And then there's the failures, like the Kings and the Boomers, who House could not incorporate into his society. But they still exist, and they're still allowed to exist on the fringes. And the followers are sort of a similar deal. House has no interest in incorporating them because their ideas are anathema to him. But they're helpful in his financial argument.
They refused his offer.
They refused the offer.
They refused the offer, and then it followed them into Freeside, and the young scavenger that's listed here, found the King's School of Impersonation in 2274.
So
that's another thing that I don't think we talk about.
The Kings have
enough.
only been going on for 7 years at the beginning of Fallout New Vegas.
And look how much control they have of Freeside. They're respected. They're almost like Robin Hood-esque characters.
Well, one of them is. The king is.
Not Pacer, sure.
Pacer.
But I feel like people, the way it always came across to me is that people in Freeside would go, no, we could trust the Kings.
Yeah. Because they didn't play the game. If he'd taken the offer, the Kings would have had their own casino called, I don't know.
They would have probably been the tops.
Called Graceland or whatever.
Oh, that would be fun.
That's an excellent, damn it.
Yeah. I wonder how much of like Bethesda is listening to podcasts and like content creators and just them coming up with like one-time things, and then just being like, write that down.
So yeah, the Kings are the platonic ideal of the Vegas family that just didn't get a slot, and then the Boomers just can't be reasoned with until
you're saying
come
just
along.
like tribal decisions.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, they would blow anybody up if they got anywhere close. The cons are not going to play ball.
No. And every time that House has to interact with a group that doesn't play ball with him, he's disdainful.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he leads to only benefits for, Robco Industries subsidiaries. That's who benefits from the House endings. Robert House and people he pays.
7 people.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. What I'm saying is, when you get Caesar, I'm just going to cut to the chase. When you go to Caesar, right? Let's say, I believe even if he wins, he dies like pretty much immediately after the battle.
He might have a line about it. Because you can fix the autodoc, but he says it's like, he still doesn't have much time.
Yeah, even if you give him arcade. He's like, this will get me through the battle, and then I know I'm not long for this world.
Yeah.
Lanius becomes Kaisar. He gets the title of Kaisar.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Yes, if Lanius is alive.
True.
So I'm assuming Lanius is alive because I don't think you can see him until the Battle of Hoover Dam.
Nope.
And I don't think you can kill him at the Battle of Hoover. Like, you can kill him, sure, because it's New Vegas and everyone's killable. But I don't think that there's like a real repercussion to it. Because I don't think you would. I think if you're a jingoist for the Legion, you want the tank on your side.
Yeah.
You have a human tank. You want that. So, I think...
Here's the thing. I've never done a Legion playthrough. But if I were, and my goal was to become Caesar at the end, which that would be my goal, then I would wait until Lanius's foot hit the dirt on the western side of Hoover Dam, and I'd be like, thank you for your service, Lanius. 9mm to the back of the fucking head. That guy cannot be allowed to live. He is a lunatic and a psychopath. And if I'm leading the Legion, then I want him he either needs to be off somewhere far from me on his own mission, or he needs to be a corpse.
If he wasn't so eloquently spoken, I would picture him like Lenny from Of Mice and Men. Just because it's like, a lot of the shit about him isn't real.
Yeah, and I mean, there's even the argument that like it might even be one person. Like the mask gets around that, but he is physically quite unique.
Yeah, so that's why I say like Lenny. Like if he wasn't okay, Caesar's dead.
Caesar is dead.
Caesar's dead. They won the Battle of Hoover Dam. Lanius is now in power. Lanius has no idea how to run. He does not respect Vulpes and Colta.
Or the concept of the Frumentari.
He doesn't. He's just like, we don't need it, we have me. So even if Lanius went out and conquered another 87 tribes, there's gonna come a point where he's just too old, he's too beaten.
I don't think okay, so if Lanius takes command, I don't think he makes it through the year.
No, neither do I.
Because he doesn't respect the Frumentari. The Frumentari also don't respect him.
Yeah.
And if it becomes a power struggle between the spies and the brutes, his only recourse to win that civil war is to kill every single Frumentari. Yeah. And I don't think he would.
Because I think the bottom falls out from it.
Yeah. So
but hold on, the point I'm getting at is if Caesar is gone, Lanius is there, Lanius doesn't respect anybody. No. The person who should be in Lanius' position was Joshua Graham. He was the first legatus, right?
Yes, and he's also the only good leader the Legion's ever had.
Sure, and then, Vulpes. Vulpes is too smart for his own good, though.
Fair.
And that's what I'm saying. Vulpes is going to...
Issues.
Vulpes would go to the rest of the Legion and unionize the Legion.
Unionize them.
and get them on his side, and they would stage a coup. That's when it's over. That's when it's over. Because Lanius is going to kill most of them. Because there's going to be a group of people that are with Lanius, and there's going to be a group of people that are going to be with Vulpes and Culta. Vulpes and Culta, let's say he lives, may find a way to go out and start something else. But he won't run it. He'd run it more like the White Glove Society than he would run it like Caesar's Legion.
Yeah, under Vulpes, it turns into like a secret society.
Yeah. It would be like the Freemasons, or like
which would be an awesome outcome.
Yeah, but now
I'm having ideas about the show.
But let me find this because I want to read this exactly.
Imagine if they fall into a disused bunker and there's like an old Legion flag and a fox head or a wolf head there.
I'd lose my shit. I'd be like,
The thing from the thing! I played it!
Yeah, that's the Minecraft movie. Oh, that thing that I did! Oh my god!
The thing from the video!
Chicken jockey! Flint and steel! She'll see it.
God, no. Rather see blood in my stool.
Okay, you
Shout out Red Letter Media. I just think that no matter who ends up with the bulk of the Legion at their command, their vision for the Mojave, it's so regressive, it's so destructive, it's so bleak. I mean, it's already a wasteland. And, Lanius talks about nailing people to Hoover Dam. That's not going to improve...
Oh, it's like the coolest line.
Not going to improve the land values.
But, land value's not real.
No, it's not. But it's also... What I mean is that, it's that approach to governance is not going to improve either it's not going to improve society or the land or people or anything. It's destructive.
But that's the thing I feel like you're missing in this argument is I'm not saying that Caesar is good. I'm just saying he's not as evil as the NCR for people.
But I don't understand. That is so baffling to me because the NCR's greatest crime is that they would like a cut of your profits so that they can build trains.
Fuck you.
And also maybe don't openly be a criminal.
Fuck you. Not you. The NCR. Fuck the NCR.
That's anathema to me. The NCR wants to build anew.
And how well did it work the first time? Power is an evil thing that people think that they have. Power is not real. I don't know.
Is there a new Yangtze Republic? Because I don't think...
A new what?
Like a China version of the new California Republic. The new Yangtze Republic.
The Xi?
Well, there's the Xi, but I mean in China. Oh, wow. It would be a joke would be the only way the NCR could go wrong, like the old world, is if there is a new Beijing Republic for them to declare war against. I think that in a new world, the new world is different than the old world. The geopolitics will be different.
But I'm saying power, absolute power, will corrupt absolutely. But look at something like Dave in the Republic of Dave in Fallout 3. Some schmuck who wanted to fuck all the women that were there. You know what I mean? Just some asshole who thought he had power.
And what is the end?
And usurped it from his dad and his uncle immediately.
And isn't it 3 of the 4 outcomes of the Republic of Dave have him either dead or exiled?
Yeah.
So it seems like it works out.
But look at the only time... No, it doesn't. That's the point I'm making.
And don't you get a really good gun? Isn't that where you get the hunting rifle with
painless? It's
no fire cone. It's 100% accurate.
If you have 100 small guns, it's my favorite weapon. So good. My favorite weapon. By far. I love the idea of just me and my dog and this hunting rifle. It's the only time that I think any sort of thing like that has ever genuinely mean this. Little Lamplight. Because there's not really a social whatever, there's not really a hierarchy, there's McCready with a gun, but everyone's recycled. Everyone gets recycled.
True.
It's a constant recycling, and they have steadfast rules of this is what's going to happen, this is what's going on. The Institute. There's no reason why Father is acting the way that he is. Shut the fuck up. Make your synth gorillas. None of this shit matters. If he had the ability to make Gen 3 and 4 synths that are damn near untellable, that you're not untellable.
Yeah, I mean, they're imperceptible.
Make pigs. Make chickens.
But can you eat a synth pig?
Yes. Gen 4 synths, what they talk about in it, which is, I believe...
But they still have mechanical components.
No, they're all synthetic, realistic pieces.
Well, it's...
Imagine
so,
if
like,
you could 3D print a
you
heart
can watch
valve.
them be made.
Yeah.
But it's like what I thought is that it imitates biology, but it is not chemically biology. Like, a synth doesn't have a metabolism that they don't have to eat.
Do they not?
I don't think so. Yeah, look it up.
Hey, Google. Do Fallout 4 synths need to eat?
According to Game Rant, that said, it appears that synths still need to eat, sleep, and breathe. Fallout 4 companion Curie will complain about having to do so after players transfer her to a synth body during her quest.
Oh. So Gen 3 synths are basically just biological. They're
From the way I understand it, the skeleton is the only thing...
And the brain, because they can
synth
still...
component.
They can still be deactivated. Like, a Gen 3 synth can be wiped.
But that's the point of the Gen 4 synth. And that's what I think... And this is a side tangent, but that's what I think you're playing as. I don't think any of the memories you have... I think that's why it's a... What do you call it? I think that's why it's a...
Oh yeah. You think the Fallout 4 protagonist is the first Gen 4 synth?
I think so, and I think they make him look like Father because it's Father's DNA and like...
The text of the game says that young Sean is the first Gen 4 synth. Because when you get into the Institute for the first time and you see him, Father explains that, like, he's
the baby, kid.
Yeah, he's a synth that grows. And it's like, oh, so he's a new generation of synth. I didn't think that was me.
I think you're the first one. I think you're the first one. That's how I see it. I think you're the first one that came out as an adult. Like, they didn't have it as, like, an embryo and, like, do it all that way.
The story implications of you being a synth are pretty drastic.
Yeah.
Because it basically invalidates everything that your character knows.
But I think that's the point of it. Because I think if they spent all that time to make the pre-war world, you would have spent more time in it. I think it's to make it feel as fantastical, and it's just enough. It's honestly just enough. You don't need much more. Everything's too convenient in those memories too, and I get it. It's a video game, but like it just seems too convenient.
Yeah, from like an outside context argument, the area that they make that's pre-war is technically an area they still had to make anyway.
Sure,
because all those houses need to know where all those houses were before the war started.
You can't go farther than a block.
Yeah. If you try to cross the bridge, you get stopped.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that those memories are I don't think they're real. This is an argument. This is the next debate that we should have. But like, I genuinely don't think that those are real memories. I don't think that your character knows that, and I think Father never has. He never wants to tell you. It's like adopting a kid. Why the fuck would you tell him he's adopted? You know what I mean?
Then what? I mean, but you would still have to be based on a real person. Because his father still has to have been a baby before the war.
Sure. So maybe they're basing it off of just, he was a military guy. His wife was a lawyer. It's not like he was a drifter who went from Florida to Boston and then was planning on going to Michigan to Canada. He was a military guy. He had a record. His wife's bar number, you could go find. Like, she's a lawyer. That's a legal process you have to go through.
True.
So I think those are all whatever. The point I'm getting at is, if Father has the capability to be able to do all of that, why would you not just make fake animals and release them into the world? Why?
Well, because the Institute isn't...
Money's not real anymore.
Father's Institute.
Yeah.
Not the Institute that you can create, because through your actions you can make the Institute a better place. The Father version of the Institute is insular. It's isolationist. And its vision for the future is not one in which it has repopulated the world with synth gorillas and synth pigs. Their version of the world is one where they still live in their nice underground lab powered by a nuclear reactor and sometimes get synth pork. I think that is his version of the future. Why would he want to help the Wastelanders? What do they
But
What do
this
they
is-
have to offer the
This
father?
is
version of the-
exactly. Why the fuck would the NCR care?
Okay, but the NCR isn't the Institute.
But I'm saying, when you have power, why the fuck would the NCR...
Because the NCR isn't built on the NCR is not built on a father-style version of an isolationist techno future, or like a house version of like.
But say
future.
they win. Say they win Hoover Dam, right?
Okay.
Kimball, or whoever is after Kimball...
Well,
Hold on. Kimball or whoever is after Kimball is one policy away from becoming Fallout Trump.
Certainly, but that is an argument you can make about literally any government.
But I'm saying,
and a dictatorship is innately more prone to that kind of danger because the one person who could have that crazy idea has way more power. Already.
Sure.
So let's assume that the show never was aired. The shows or the game says that the NCR continues to develop.
Yeah.
The New Vegas Strip and like its soldiers still go there. Basically like a status quo. But as the player, you can solve a bunch of their bunch of the logistical problems. And if you do that, like I have done in my current playthrough, and you solve the NCR's problem and you win the game for the NCR, the future of the Mojave is pretty bright. I mean, it's got power, it's got water, it's got military protection. The Legion is broken and functionally no longer a threat in the immediate short term. So you have some breathing room to really develop the Strip out, and I would assume that places like Freeside and North Vegas become part of the Strip proper under the NCR. Like that whole they form New Vegas and really incorporate the whole city. And then you also have settlements like Novak and Prim, and Good Springs would eventually join the NCR.
You think so?
Oh, most definitely. Because I mean,
it's so close to.
Yeah, it's so close to Vegas on the road.
It's on not even that. What's the trading post? Not the 188. The one that's at like the long 15 at like the beginning.
Yeah,
at
it's
the
right
bottom
there.
of the map.
Mojave Outpost.
But like, I just don't. I don't know. I just don't trust NCR. Like, I really don't. I don't think that.
But I mean, who have they done wrong? I mean,
Vault City.
I don't think they've done Vault City wrong because
By getting the Brotherhood invested.
Because Vault City was a stratified elitist society based on how close you got to the vault. Like you needed special permission. The NCR I assume, would improve that situation by allowing that technology to help more people. Like Vault City is really restrictive in how they let their super abundant advanced tech help people.
Sure.
Like you find stashes of water chips.
I think that was more of a joke.
It's a joke, but in the game, Vault City could provide infinite free clean water to everybody in the wasteland. But they don't.
But that's
because they don't want to.
But like also.
So if that version of Vault City got screwed over by the NCR, good. They deserved it. Like
But that's not even the point that I'm making. The point that I'm making is the NCR has they have pretty much unlimited resources. Pretty much.
I mean, for a wasteland society.
Because Tandy can go, hey, we're going to name this piece of the NCR after the guy who started the Brotherhood of Steel. So can you go get the giant fucking 8-foot morons that are a part of some cult and have giant Gatling lasers? Could you go get them and say that if you don't go to Vault City doesn't join NCR, that we're just gonna genocide them? Could you do that for me? Could you help a brother out? Like, could you do that?
That's real politic. But
it's wrong, is what I'm saying.
It's low stakes wrong. I mean,
what do you mean low stakes wrong?
The people that they are denying power, like the Vault City elite, don't really deserve it, so it's not really that big of a deal. What
do you mean they don't deserve it? There's brilliant minds in there.
Sure, there's brilliant minds. That doesn't mean they have a right to like deny medicine to the wasteland. No, that is fundamentally what Vault City does before they're part of the NCR.
Why not try to get? Well, do you think that's why the Vault City joins NCR because they couldn't get the followers to join them completely?
I bet. I mean, if we're talking about the politics of the wasteland, that would be a driving force. The followers are on the NCR's side, and the followers are a really big resource.
And NCR put in representatives on Vault City's council. That's a shitty move.
I mean, we appoint governors.
Yeah,
Or
it's
elect
fucked.
governor.
I'm saying that the U.S. government system doesn't work. And we have a great reset in the terms of multiple atom bombs. And the first thing...
But the potential answers for the Mojave are, first of all, they're all imitations of the old world. All the potential answers other than an independent Vegas. Because the NCR is imitating old America,
Yes.
and House is imitating old capitalism, and Caesar is imitating old Rome, even older than the other two.
Yeah.
There is no fundamentally forward-looking answer to New Vegas.
That's why you need another great
answers.
reset.
But the Great Reset only leads to the same
I would
question.
argue the nuking of Shady Sands is a great reset for the Fallout franchise. Genuinely, I would argue that. I don't know enough about it because season 2 hasn't come out yet, but because Shady's nuked. Come on, you're gonna go, hey, the US government didn't work out. Everybody's nuked. You wanna try this hot sauce? I don't really like it. It was way too hot. You wanna do it again? Sure. Like, it's fucking stupid.
No,
it's stupid.
but the NCR isn't just old America again. It's something kind of new.
Sure, and I'm not saying that, like, if you just said, okay, what is the
Still
opposite
looking
of...
backward, but
But it's like, what's the opposite of capitalism? Like, what is the direct opposite of capitalism?
it doesn't really exist. Because, I mean, ideologies don't really have opposites, but
Sure, but I'm saying, like...
authoritarian communism, I guess.
Like, okay, that's the exact opposite. So I'm not saying, okay, capitalism didn't work, let's do authoritarian communism. Okay, that doesn't work. What's the opposite of that isn't... You know, you can't just sit there and do this like it's the color wheel and
But you
bop back and
can't.
forth.
That's the history of society. Like like governments normally aren't drastically different than the last government, even when they claim to be. Like if you look at the Chinese Communist Revolution in China, that government
Tiananmen Square?
no, like during the Second World War, the Chinese Civil War that led to Mao taking power. The dynastic China from before that Civil War, the nationalistic China that existed during it, and the communist China that existed after it were fundamentally the same place. They did the same things, and they had a lot of the same ideas, and they were run pretty much the same. I mean, you could argue Mao was just another dynasty. Every government is just an iteration on the last one.
I think you're missing my point entirely. I really do. Because
No,
what I'm saying is having power is wrong. I'm saying having power inherently is wrong.
But the way that society works, somebody will have it.
Sure.
And we should build a society in which the people with power can be trusted. And I think that of the societies in New Vegas, the only people I would even kind of trust is the NCR. And I don't trust them innately, obviously. They make mistakes, screw things up,
But, like, imagine-
bitter springs and divide.
But imagine you, like, can't read. Like, this is the thing I always come down to. You can't read, and some guy in a suit just shows up, and I'm wearing tattered rags, and some dude shows up and he goes, hey man, so get fucked. You're now owned by this entire group of people, and I need 15% of your income, and I need 15% of your
The NCR does
crops.
not come in and say, you are now part of us. Nobody is annexed by the NCR.
No, but I'm not, of course there's not going to be some fucking big dumb guy in a suit saying this exactly.
Like when you get Prim annexed, you have to convince them. You have to argue to the people that this will be a better outcome. And then afterward, they gripe about taxes and shit. But you know what they don't gripe about? Being killed by the powder gangers.
What do you mean?
Like, the problems of Prim that they were suffering from, raids from the powder gangers and the fiends, all those issues that they were having that led to the situation you have to deal with, killing all those powder gangers in the hotel. That does not happen to them again because the NCR protects them. The only reason that the NCR wasn't able to deal with the problem when you get there is that they needed more men.
Sure. I also think the powder gangers is like a 6-month problem.
I don't know. I think the powder gangers has the potential to become a cons level problem.
Get the fuck out of here. How?
How does any dangerous group start? Access to a place to gather and a reason to hate some other group and some kind of resource.
Well, I wouldn't consider that dangerous. That could help a lot of people. That sounds like a revolutionary idea could be there.
I know, but it's also how terrorist groups form. Dynamite terrorism is not the answer to the powder gangers' problem. They're a dangerous group, and they need like one good leader, which, I mean, you can go to Vault, I think it's Vault 9 or whatever, and you can find where there are leaders of the Powder Gangers.
Yeah.
And one of the outcomes of that is that guy goes on and takes control of the Powder Gangers, the evil one. But they have the potential to become a cons level threat because they have the resources and the motive to hate the NCR because they're criminals.
Yeah.
They're all criminals who were in prison for something.
But I think most of them might be cons.
Most of them might be cons. You're right.
But I think the cons, if the cons and the Powder Gangers went up against each other, it's cons in 3. Like or cons in 4. It's not even like anything crazy.
I bet. Actually, isn't one of the outcomes that they go join the cons? One of the outcomes of Vault 9 is that they join the cons, I think.
Really? I don't think it's Vault 9.
One of the outcomes of the Powder Ganger Vault is that they go off and join somebody, and I think it's the cons. Because I think that if the cons and the Powder Gangers encountered each other, they wouldn't fight. They'd be like, hey, yeah, I hate the NCR
You think
too.
it'd be like a mutual agreement?
It's like, hey, you hate the NCR? I hate the NCR. You like blowing up their caravans? I like killing their settlers. Let's team up.
It's Vault 19.
19.
Close. I'll give it to you. This is saying on r/FNV from user Crazy Potato 231. What is about best outcome for the quest? 2 of them result in Vault 9 Powder Gangers joining the Great Khans, and the other surrendering to the NCR. So yeah.
So,
there's more to that, but I'm not reading the whole thing.
So, and they're technically a different group of Powder Gangers in the NCRCF facility Powder Gangers. I think it's like a splinter group.
Yeah.
But I think the outcome would be mostly the same. Is that if the Powder Gangers are allowed to continue to gain power, they and the cons will eventually become a nexus of danger again to the NCR.
You don't think the cons are leaving, though? The cons say if you do like the positive ending for Papa Khan, they're like, we're going to leave the Mojave, we're going to go back, I guess back to California.
No, they go along the 80s. They go up to Nevada. They go up Nevada. Because they lose their culture in one of the outcomes. They join. They basically join
Caesar.
If they join Caesar or go with the followers, they lose their culture.
What a shame.
I guess it's literally
it's culture though. But it's culture. That's the thing.
It's culture, and cultures have an innate value. But at the same time, there are, especially in we're talking about Fallout. There are cultures that are innately very bad.
Yeah.
And so...
Sure. But you don't think that, learning about the history of the Nazis is interesting?
I mean, it's interesting.
I'm not saying it's a good thing.
But yeah, if I were to read about, the Genghis Khan, my first instinct would not be, let's do this too.
No, but I'm not saying that. But I'm saying, the loss of culture is sad.
I don't know. Some cultures kind of earned their place on the ash heap, didn't they?
I'm not saying they didn't.
They kind of earned it.
No, but you're not hearing me, because I'm saying...
And I don't think that any evidence of the cons ever having existed should be erased. Obviously, the NCR holds a lot of guilt in its heart for Bitter Springs. Every single NCR trooper you talk to about Bitter Springs is like, I feel so terrible, oh my god, how could we have?
Yeah.
It's like that, the meme online that the cons had it coming, that's a joke. In the text of the game, it's established the cons did not have it coming, and the NCR feels very bad.
Did you ever read the comic?
No.
I have to let you read the comic, but I need that thing back immediately because it's part of the collector's edition. But it's about Bitter Springs and how Chance is... Also, first off, dude's name is Chance, and the game takes place in Vegas. I love that, little dumb shit. But how he has severe PTSD because of it. Yep. And Benny's like, yo, you have to let go of the old world. And he, doesn't understand what that means exactly. And I'll let you read it. Yeah. You could actually find it on
I was about to say, I'm sure it's
Internet Archive. It's really good. It's really, really... it's one of those... And I've been reading comics this year. I'm upset that we've never gotten a Fallout comic. I'd be there day one. I'd be like, give me all the alternative covers. I'm getting the shit graded inside. It's... Yeah. It would work perfectly.
So I think that the end of the Great Khan storyline and what happens to them is... I mean, Papa Khan says it. He says, we raided their caravans, we killed their settlers, we're raiders. What did you expect? Yeah. That's the only argument they have for why their culture should exist, is that, we're raiders.
But, how much of... Perfect example. When was the last time you thought about the Pledge of Allegiance? And hear me out.
I don't know.
When was the last time you went to an event and they were just like, all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? And, like, how much different is that from waking up every morning and praying to Kim Jong-un? How different is that? Like, really, how different is that? Like, how different is it of you going, okay, this is, like, I'm thankful to live in a country. Great, so am I. I'm grateful that I live here. There's a lot of things that have happened for me in America that couldn't have happened in any other country. There's also a lot of things I'm missing by not living in another country. But it's also like, there's so many people. There's a poem. You ever hear the poem? What to the slave is the 4th of July?
Yeah.
Like, you know, what is any of that doing if the grand scheme of something isn't benefiting its people in the most positive way? The NCR going to Kimball's war for an extended amount of time when most people back west are like, just fucking be done with it. We have the resources.
But the thing is that is a selfish approach. Is that the approach of the average NCR citizen in the West of who gives a crap about the Mojave, we don't need it, we have our own power plants or whatever. That's a selfish answer. Because the answer of who cares what would happen if the Mojave falls is the Legion comes for you next. If you I hate to harken back to Bush. If you don't fight the Legion in the Mojave, you'll fight them in the hub. That's the answer.
No, but I understand that. I'm not saying that them going to war.
So what's the purpose of Kimball's war? The alternative is abandoning the people of the Mojave, all 25 of them, to... It's a joke about the low number of NPCs in Vegas.
I thought you were like saying a group of people.
No. You abandon everybody in the Mojave, every citizen of goods, Doc Mitchell and Sonny Smiles... Yeah. And who's the fucking
Prim Slim?
Prim Slim.
This is a Prim Slim Stan account.
Of course, Prim Slim. He's our hero. And all those people in Novak. If the NCR wasn't fighting Kimball's war, they would all have already been killed by the Legion before the game starts.
You don't think that the Legion gets to Shady, and they just are like, "Oh, how cute," and just immediately they're done?
No,
I think they put up a fight, but I think it's.
No, I think the Legion absorbs the Mojave.
No. You know what happens? They just get Liberty Prime. That's the next game.
Yeah, the Brotherhood, they get to Hidden Valley, and they find a secret schematic for Liberty Prime.
They find another Liberty Prime. Liberty Prime 2, Electric Boogaloo. And he just shows up, and he's like, democracy.
Liberty Secundus.
I can't wait to see him in Fallout 5 for the third time. I can't wait. He showed up more. If he shows up in that one, he has shown up more as many times as Harold.
Hey,
I think Harold has
new recurring character.
The number. It'd be one thing if he showed up on a poster. That's fine. But if he's stomping around throwing nuclear footballs again, I'm gonna be like, I fucking can't stand seeing him constantly. Sorry,
it was cool.
Exactly.
I
cut you off completely.
That first march to the Jefferson Memorial, that's cool.
Yeah.
The DLC, fine.
No, I actually kind of like that the DLC kills him, because then when I got there in Fallout 4, I was like, you're going to tell me in 10 years...
You built him again?
In 10 years, you not only built Liberty Prime again, but fucking airships? Come on, dude.
Well, the way they say that is they rebuilt the airship. So I guess the lore implication is that the parts for that airship were just sitting somewhere by the Pentagon.
Yeah, but it was probably the Air Force Base that you nuke. So it's like, how much did you nuke? And the walking Air Force Base that's in the DLC in Broken Steel is from Van Buren and
but it's supposed to be, isn't it supposed to be Andrews Air Force Base or Joint?
What is it?
Base? There's a big Air Force Base by Washington D.C.
Not Reagan? Oh no, that's an airport.
It's called Andrews. I think it's Joint Base Andrews.
Whatever.
Yes, the point is that
Liberty Prime
will definitely be in Fallout 5. Probably will make an appearance in the show.
If he makes an appearance in the show, I might just turn the TV off and go for a walk. I'll leave the door wide open. I'll be like, anybody could just go in.
I need to really think about it.
I gotta really are we that bankrupt of ideas? It's whenever that's how I felt when I saw that the Brotherhood was going to be a big part of the show. I was like, there's other cool shit out there.
Nope. If it's not about the Brotherhood of Steel, it's not cool.
It's kind of like how I feel about Spider-Man.
I agree. Fucking hate Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man, but it's like I don't want to see Uncle Ben die again. I'm just so tired of fucking seeing Uncle Ben get shot.
Maybe edit out the part where I say I hate Spider-Man. Probably not great.
No, now I'm leaving. I'm leaving this in too.
Shit.
Why do you hate Spider-Man?
I just don't like the character, and I've never really liked a Spider-Man movie.
Really?
Yeah, Homecoming's fine. And,
I don't like Tom Holland as Spider-Man.
And
that's just me though.
I don't have the attachment to the Raimi movies.
Yeah.
So I don't cream my jeans for fucking.
I think those are like the first
Maguire.
movies I ever saw in the theater.
Oh yeah.
So like for me, it's very much every time I go to a movie theater, I'm like, just like when I saw Spider-Man.
So the Kimball's War stuff. The Kimball's War stuff in general, I think you could make a decent argument. It's like a Frumentari psyop because it's all like this, grassroots opposition to the war in the Mojave that you could argue has been costly because in men and materials, but it is clearly of benefit to the NCR, the power and the resources they're getting out of the Mojave. I think that the whole idea of like, oh, this is just Kimball's obsession leaves out the fact that the NCR is protecting a lot of people from a terrible fate at the hands of the Legion. And that is the purpose of the Mojave War. It's not real. It's really to control the dam. It also happens to help a bunch of people in an area that would otherwise be left totally defenseless. I really
don't think they give a fuck whatsoever about the Mojave. It's just they want the dam. Like, I really think that's what it comes down to.
Well, the dam's in the Mojave. And if you want the dam, you got to work with the Mojave.
But then, you're not doing it for the right reasons.
No government has ever done something for the right reasons.
Imagine if your wife made great cookies, right? Mm-hmm. And you're like, hey man, we're about to move. Could you come help me move? And I'm just like, sure. And then I help you and you're just like, dude, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it, whatever. And then I'm mad at you because you didn't offer a reward for helping. Like, I want to help you because I'm helping you out of the goodness of my heart. And I'm walking away going, yeah, fuck you. I wanted your wife's cookies. You could have made me 2 dozen, you motherfucker. Like, it's like, what's the point of doing a good... Like, no good deed goes unpunished, right? Like, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. But why go defend the people of the Mojave if not to just defend the people of the Mojave?
Well, because that's not a realistic goal for a government.
So maybe it shouldn't exist.
I would see it more like this. I want some of your wife's cookies, the dam. I want those.
Yeah.
And, I go over and I'm like, hey, can I have some cookies? And you're like, you're gonna need to help me move.
That's a different story. That's an agreed upon. That's an agreement.
But that is what fundamentally happens if you accept the caveat that House is acting as the representative of the Mojave, because he's who the NCR makes the agreement with. The NCR comes in and they're like, we want the dam. House is like, I want money and also to not be conquered by Caesar. So we have common cause here. Like, that's what fundamentally happens. The defending of the people of the Mojave is fundamentally a financial decision that is benefiting both the NCR and House, but they're still being defended. Like, the people let's ignore Nipton. The people of Novak, they're alive right now. When you get there, they're alive because the NCR didn't lose the Battle of Hoover Dam.
I disagree.
I don't.
I disagree.
If the NCR had lost the first Battle of Hoover Dam, Novak would be uninhabited. Or it would be a Legion slave camp.
I want to double check this. I was trying to find this before. I'm almost positive NCR is like Legion completely misses Good Springs. Like, they don't go to Good Springs whatsoever. These smaller towns,
but Novak's not a smaller town. In the context of the Mojave, Novak is a pretty big settlement, especially now that Nipton and Nelson were both destroyed by the Legion. All of those people, their only place they have to go is like Novak or the ruins of Boulder, which was destroyed by the NCR because of the Legion. Or up to New Vegas.
Hold on.
Or west to back to the NCR.
I want to see Novak.
I bet because of like Boone and stuff, I bet Novak is uninhabited, is obliterated. In I know, we both don't really like it, but in the mod Dust, they have Novak be obliterated.
I mean, but it's a mod.
It's a mod, but it's a reasonable
Dog saying
outcome.
Sure. But then I feel like when you're like, okay, we have to take this mod into consideration, then we have to take Fallout Equestria into consideration.
No, we don't.
Exactly.
But
I fuck with brownies.
But my point is that it's not a crazy idea that Novak would be destroyed.
But I'm not saying that it's a crazy idea. Hold on, Good Springs.
Good Springs, I think, does get missed. But even that, I feel like that would be a concession made at the end of the game so that people who picked the Legion don't feel bad they got all their friends killed. Even though, in reality, those people would all die. Even if Good Springs survives the first wave of the Legion...
Good Springs saw more trade along I-15 after NCR gained control of the Mojave Wasteland.
Boom.
But with that came this is Good Springs, came a heavy burden of the Republic's taxes. Some old-timers unable to handle the cost were forced to move on, grumbling all the while. So the government gentrified Good Springs. I guess that's sad. But the Legion The Legion preoccupied with the acquisition of New Vegas scarcely took notice of the town of Good Springs. Many locals moved on, fearful of Kaisar's long shadow. Only the stubborn remained.
So which of those outcomes is better? Oh, the taxes, they're kind of high. Or, oh my god, what if those legionnaires realize we're here and come and cut all our heads off?
I just don't think they're going to I don't think they would.
But it's on the road. Like as the Legion continues to move west, they'll get there. Like that's the thing. They're busy with their big meal of New Vegas. They'll be done eventually, and they'll still be hungry. That's the fundamental fact of the Legion is that no matter what they get, they're still hungry.
The Kings have 13 slides that are possible to see in game. That's more than I would think. Because you can do a bunch of stuff with the Kings, and they'd need variations of that for each winner. Novak
is definitely destroyed. There's no way they make it through the Legion. With Boone there?
No, because it doesn't exist because though Novak was a low priority target for the Legion, many of Novak's citizens died in its defense. In the weeks that followed, feral ghouls overflowing from the Repcon test site ravaged the weakened town.
So the Legion attacks Novak, is kinda wins, and then the feral ghouls from Repcon kill everybody else. So Novak is destroyed by the Legion win. Good Springs is kind of okay because it's hidden.
No, they totally get ravaged. Actually, I did a fucking Legion playthrough like years ago. I remember I went to my grandma's house and I brought my Xbox and I was like, I just want to play New Vegas all weekend. And the Legion like goes and conquers everybody. Yeah. But I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they conquer everybody.
Well, yeah.
What I'm saying is Lanius doesn't know how to run, and he won't listen to anyone that isn't himself or Kaisar.
But the
bottom falls out within a year, but it's over then.
But the bottom falling out of a violent dictatorship isn't the end, though. The bottom falling out isn't the end. It just leads to anarchy. It leads to roving bands of legionnaires exacting their own independent idea of what the world should be like.
How much of the population of New Vegas, all the NPCs you can run into, do you think die? When?
Minimum half.
Okay, that's actually a lot less than I thought you were going to say.
I thought you were going to say 80%. It's probably closer to like 70-80%, but minimum.
So you don't think that there's at least one motherfucker left over who's like, man, that guy the king, he really had his shit together, and then goes and makes like another civilization like the Kings.
That's a big assumption. That's a big bet you're making.
But also
that of the people who survive, which will be less than half.
You're also making a big assumption that the NCR is going to do right by its people.
But in the NCR's history, it has done the right thing more times than it has done the wrong thing. The Legion has done the right thing 0 times. So
in your eyes.
What do you think the Legion's done right
I never said the Legion has done anything right or wrong, but I can admit that I've never said the Legion has done anything right or wrong. What I'm saying is it's a matter of perspective. What I'm saying is when you look at it and go, okay, we can further the advancement of government and history and military and all these these things. Sure, the NCR can do that, but at what point are you stretched too thin? Just because you continue with land, the U.S. wants to fucking buy Greenland right now. Why?
Yes, the NCR would become overextended, I guess eventually, but
they are now. How far into Washington are they? They're trying to take Baja. They're trying to take the Mojave.
Okay, so we've both seen a lot of fan maps. The text of the game says that there are rangers tied up in Baja because of like ghouls or something. So it appears that there is some threat in Baja that the Republic has to respond to. The Washington, Oregon stuff, Arroyo was incorporated into the NCR, so Northern California is like part of it. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't appear like they're wildly expansionist unless you're talking about a mod like Frontier.
Which they're not.
There's no discussion really of Oregon and Washington, other than the fact that they're like on the edge. The text of the game has the NCR be overextended only in the Mojave. Everywhere else in the NCR seems to be doing okay. One of the real reasons that I had such a problem with their destruction in the show before I realized what was going on was that the NCR didn't seem like how could within 5 years this society that was capable of mustering infantry divisions to send to the Mojave collapse so thoroughly? I didn't really understand, but I get it. I get what the story they're going for now, and I hope that season 2 continues to improve on the story of the NCR. I'm still bummed that they've been functionally destroyed in California.
I always get it flipped. It's either on the border of Washington. I think it's on the border of California, but in my mind, it's like Portland, but it's not.
No, it's farther south than that. Because it's what, like immediately northwest of Redding, and Redding is in California because it's Redding, California.
There's a Redding, Pennsylvania, and I think it's spelled differently. I think Redding, California is REED.
RDD.
Really?
Or no, REDDING.
Really?
Redding.
Yeah, and then in PA it's Reading.
Reading, yeah.
It's Arroyo, the Unity, Sulik, Coos Bay.
Yeah, so the NCR
Kalamath? Kalamath is in Klamath?
Yeah, Klamath.
Whatever. I got yelled at for saying it wrong once, and I was like, whatever.
It's the post-apocalypse. Who's to say how it's fucking pronounced?
Exactly. It's Novak, not no vacancy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. My favorite part of Novak is that it's not based on a real town. If you go to Google Maps and you go to the area, it's just open desert.
It's the dinosaur park. There's a dinosaur park.
There's a dinosaur park around it, and I think there is a giant thermometer somewhere along the road to Vegas. So
it's just kind of smashed it together.
Yeah, they're like, what if we made one that was like all this stuff?
It's so cool. Such a great idea. I love Novak. Novak is like one of my favorite settlements ever. It's like Novak.
It's a really good
one.
one. So I think fundamentally, if we're talking about what is the best outcome for the Mojave in the short term, as in the lives of the people alive in the game, it's almost definitely the NCR. But
I'm not going to fight with you on that one. Yeah,
but if you're talking about,
I'm talking about 30 years in the future.
100 plus years in the future. The conquests of Genghis Khan were very terrible. I would not go back and undo them today, because the world developed on top of it. I can see a world that is good coming from the end of the Legion's victory.
Are you saying you wouldn't kill baby Hitler?
Baby Hitler's a lot closer in history than baby Genghis Khan. There isn't 1,000 years of history that would be undone by killing Hitler. At least not that I've experienced yet.
Are you pro baby Hitler?
No, I'm saying I would kill baby Hitler. I wouldn't kill baby Genghis Khan.
That's what you're saying. You're admitting right now on video to killing a child.
No, I would abduct baby Hitler, and I'd bring him to the future, and I would raise him to be a good little boy, and he would get into art school. But anyway, that I've made my conclusion.
That's your final word?
That would be my final.
Oh, you should have. I could have gotten a fucking update so I could give my final word, because now I can't.
Well, no. I'm sorry. That I will say more.
Okay.
I'm saying that is the crux of my argument. That the current people who live in the Mojave will never benefit from a Legion victory at almost any time span. Maybe their grandchildren or great-grandchildren will be able to build something, but why burn it all down again? Why burn it all down again? We're already dealing with ashes. Let's build something from the ashes. Let's not set them aflame with chlorine trifluoride, I think, is the chemical that burns ashes.
Really?
Yeah, it's an incredibly powerful fluorinator because you can make fire. So fire is an oxidization reaction, but you can do it with fluorine too. It's called they're called fluorine fires, and you basically can't put them out.
Really?
They burn metal and stuff.
So the crux of my argument then, which I guess you're trying to get at,
Yeah.
is I don't think the NCR is good for the Mojave. I think the NCR is actually really, really bad for the Mojave. I think the Mojave does not need a militaristic force. The Mojave is just no man's land, except for Vegas. It is quite literally an oasis.
Yeah.
Right?
It always has been.
People will spend all of their hard-earned money to get to Vegas to just throw it away.
Did you know Vegas is built on natural hot springs?
Really?
Yeah. That's why it's where it is.
Really? Really?
Yeah. It's along the Colorado River, sorta. But yeah, there's Vegas Springs.
Is it like a town?
No, they're like hot springs.
Really?
Yeah, but water bubbling up out of the ground.
I gotta go to fucking Vegas. I gotta go. I gotta look around. I gotta see all the New Vegas shit. The point I'm making, I don't think the NCR is good for the Mojave. I don't think the Legion is good for the Mojave. I just think that the corruption and the greed has hit such a point, especially around Vegas, that it is putting us, and I say us as if you and I live in this situation, but I'm saying it has put the Mojave, it has put the people of the Mojave in a similar spot to where they were in 2277. I don't think Caesar is a good guy. No. I don't think that what he believes in is correct. But I believe that if he gains the power, if he wins the Battle of Hoover Dam, that it might go a little more west. It's not getting over the mountains. It's not going to Black Mountain. They're going to get to Black Mountain, and they're going to... Those super mutants on Black Mountain are going to fucking destroy them. They're going to get to Quarry Junction, gone. The tunnelers make it from the divide into it, they're done. I don't care how well done they are. The bottom falls out. And yes, you'll have a power vacuum. Yeah, you'll have the fiends. I'm not saying it won't, but 50 years later. And one of the fan theories that you had told me about was that the Brotherhood had joined up with the Legion because of the way their flags were. Yeah,
in the show. Yeah, the Brotherhood in the show is got some Legion trappings too.
So, who knows? Let's say in a year's time from this coming out, we actually find out what actually happened.
Yeah,
right. I'm not saying that anything this flag represents or stands by is anything that I believe in. But I think for the people of the Mojave, the greater good, my children and their children would benefit from a Legion win. It means a lot of death. It means a lot of pain for maybe about 6 years. But before the end, before 2286, before 2286, Legion doesn't exist anymore. The only thing you might get a splinter group that is Vulpus and Culta, but they are not going to operate the way Caesar ran. He's going to realize the power he has, and it's going to be something different.
I just think you're putting too short a time frame on it.
Why?
Because Lanius and Vulpes are good leaders, both of them. I mean,
I don't think Lanius.
They're not good. They're not good. Big picture leaders, they're not good Eisenhowers. They're good Pattons.
Okay.
They're good tacticians. They're good strategists, and they're good at inflicting pain on the enemy. Which, unless your courier goes around and fixes the problems, the NCR has a lot of weaknesses. It has a lot of holes, and Lanius and Vulpes can keep going on the momentum of the NCR bleeding. You inflict that first Battle of Hoover Dam, and you butcher and you loot Vegas, and then Lanius is standing there and he's like, I have momentum. I can keep this army going because we're soaked in the blood of New Vegas. We can keep going at least until the next town. Because basically, you're leading the Legion. You only have to motivate them to get to the next major settlement, and they'll do the work themselves.
Yeah.
So, unless something happens between New Vegas and the Mojave Outpost to turn the Legion against itself, it will just keep going. It will keep eating, and it will keep consuming, and it will make it all the way to Shady Sands, to the hub, to the Boneyard. I think, and in the game, because they don't want the Legion to make it all the way across the map, they pause in New Vegas, and I think, or even before that, they pause at the dam, and Lanius says something like, "Oh yeah, well, in time we'll go do that." I think that's purely a concession so that the player can keep playing in the game without everybody dying. But as soon as the inslides start, the Legion starts moving again, and that just it's like digging deeper, hoping that you break out the bottom. I don't think it's feasible, really, to hope that the end state of the Legion is something that can be built upon. I think it's something that will just lead to more cycles of destruction, because that's what the Fallout universe basically is trying to avoid, is that the cycles of destruction need to be stopped. Hopefully, the NCR can, through victory in the Mojave, start to make that progress. They haven't yet. I'll admit the NCR is very flawed, but they're the best base to build on, and they provide the best immediate future for the people of the Mojave. Which, at the end of the day, when I finish a run through New Vegas, that's who I care about. I don't, I'm not really thinking about the people of Shady Sands. I'm thinking about
the people of the Mojave.
Yeah, I'm thinking about Boone, and I'm thinking about the gamblers down the strip. That's what I'm thinking about, and I don't want them to suffer. I don't want them to suffer at the hands of the Legion, or even at the hands of House. I want them to have a decent future, and I know taxes suck, and I certainly wish that I could keep the 20% of my income too. But
imagine
the NCR at least spends the tax money to arm soldiers to fight Deathclaws, and I'm okay with that. I think that's a good use of tax
imagine
money.
just being hey, I finally figured out how to make money, and I'm trying to I'm starting to finally get a thing for myself going, and then all of a sudden, and also everything's cash.
Yeah, there's
you know what I mean?
No bookkeeping.
So it's you have to send me something. And the NCR is pretty much
how many NCR taxpayers are paying their fair share?
Well, also how
Come
many
on.
the NCR, and I mean, let's talk about capitalism. The NCR is controlled by the Brahmin barons, more or less. They hold seats on the council.
That's the most powerful economic bloc in New Vegas.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was the water traders. I mean, there's always a powerful economic bloc.
But I'm saying, those Brahmin barons do not pay their fair share.
No, of course they don't pay their fair share.
Fuck them.
Who would, if I was a Brahmin baron, I would do everything I could not to pay my fair share. It's the NCR.
You're making money hand over fucking fist.
Yeah. I have a solid resource for good food.
Yeah, one of the Brahmin barons is making electric cars and is talking way too much about Germany right now. It's really scary.
What's Germany? What are you talking about?
What do you think Germany? Total side tangent. What do you think Germany would be called in Fallout? You think it'd be New Deutschland?
Oh, the whole idea of what's going on in Europe is really interesting. Ignoring Fallout, neither one of us has played Fallout London.
It's not canon, so I won't.
But you know what kind of is weird is that because it is so well done, it is a well done mod.
I never said it wasn't.
And it's set in London. There will never be an official Fallout London ever
Because they just did the work for them.
They did the work for them, and why would they do the job of writing over all of that when they can just be if you want to think it's canon, sure.
But also Todd Howard has been I have no interest in showing anything outside of the US.
And I mean, I kind of like that, because Fallout's not about Europe.
No, but it's more of do a comic book.
Yeah, a comic book would be
Do
fine.
a comic book. Because once Todd is no longer the director, the next game, I'm almost guaranteed. Todd's not the director anymore. They're gonna make another studio that just works on Fallout.
Yeah, they'll get the 343
off.
treatment, 101 Industries or
I really hope they don't do Vault Tech games.
I think you just put it in the universe.
But why would you? But why would you make it named after the evil organization? Why would you do 343? That it's never made sense.
Well, 343 is the AI in the first game who helps you.
Yeah, but then he turns out to be a fuck.
Yeah, he turns out to be evil and he kills Johnson after.
Yeah, but he kills the best character.
But he
next to Arby.
He is an iconic thing, and I guess when because if you're making a Halo studio, what are you going to call it?
The Ring.
The Ring Industry, the Ring Studios, UNSC Studios.
The Ring Interactive.
The Ring Interactive would be good.
Yeah.
But also, there's a movie called The Ring, and you don't want to mix up your IPs.
But still.
There were better options, but I see why they went with 343.
Reach Interactive?
That's good. I see why they went with 343, though, because it's really simple and basic and easy to copyright, and you don't have to worry about somebody else having made that company already.
Sure. I just wouldn't name it after something evil.
No. But then what would you name it after in the Fallout universe? New California Studios?
No, I would honestly like...
Brotherhood of Steel Studios?
I think, honestly, you can get away with Vault Games.
Vault Games?
Vault Interactive. Just because it's like... It's Vault Tech, but it's not Vault Tech.
You could make, it could reasonably be a subsidiary company of Vault Tech called Vault Studios.
Something, but it's enough of a degree of separation.
Yeah.
The same way the Bethesda logo just now has a vault door in it. You know what I mean? They could just be like...
Did they add that for Fallout 3?
I think after that, yeah.
Because I remember seeing it in Fallout 3 and thinking, oh cool, they added a vault door to the logo for Fallout 3.
The acquisition of the Fallout license is, Todd went to ZeniMax and was like, we want to make a Fallout game. Like, alright, we got you the license for one game. And then the next day they're like, we bought the license. Yeah. So you can just do whatever you want. Yeah. So I wouldn't...
Because also when Fallout 3 was... put into production, Fallout was basically a dead franchise.
More or less.
The last release was Tactics or something?
Yeah. It was just everybody... Hi, if anyone ever sees us on this website. It was everybody on No Muties Allowed.
Oh,
do you know about No Muties?
Yeah, No Mutants Allowed.
It's that. It was those people, maybe a couple fringe groups. There's people who were playing modded versions of Fallout 2 so you could play with your friends.
Yeah.
But
and then Fallout 3 reinvigorated. I mean, it has its flaws. It has, it has a lot of, its reach outstretches its grasp. It has, Fallout 3 is just on the cusp of not really being able to execute what it wants to do, I feel like.
Really?
Because the streets have to be so segmented out with the way that the
city's
basically, it's basically broken into little clumps.
Yeah.
Which that ended up being the same problem with New Vegas. Is that New Vegas is the same problem where it's this is such a great idea and the technology just one more step and you would have been able to do
That's one of my the only mods I ever was like, all right, fine.
Oh, the open strip.
That's it. That's one of the few that's just that's what they wanted to do.
Especially because it's the one space with just the walls intersecting. Yeah. There's no... I think they add a little bit of concrete patches because there's some dead space in between the areas.
But that's one of the only mods where I was like, that's cool. That and the collector's edition caravan cards. I think that one's just fun. It's just how often you really play caravan.
I see. There was a GameSpot series where a firearms expert reacted to a bunch of guns, and he did a bunch of Fallout mod guns. And he did a bunch of the Fallout base game guns, and then he went on to the mod guns because they're crazy, they're insane, and it made me resolve to never put a modded weapon in a Fallout game because there are already guns in the games that I feel are incongruous. My main weapon in New Vegas is All American, which is a modern carbine with camo and tactical rails on them. This looks so weird. I wish, what would be cool? A mod that gives All American the skin of just a slightly modified service rifle.
You can get that already. It's already in the game.
Oh, really?
Go to Jacobstown when the mercenaries come to fuck with the mutants.
Yeah.
They have black, M4 carbines.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the marksman carbines.
Yeah. So you could get it. It's there. It's just not as powerful as All American.
It's not as powerful as All American, yeah. I just hate the camo on All American. It feels weird. To the point that for most of my engagement, that's my little groundlings gun, and then I've got the battle rifle for bigger things. But explosives become so useful against high level.
Really?
Enemies. Yeah, a lot of the times I'll be plinking away at something, and I'll be like, oh, fuck this, pull out Fat Man.
I don't think I ever shot a Fat Man in Fallout 4.
Oh, Fallout 4 has great Fat Man modifications. They have the Merv one, where it's logical. It's actually how you do it. Where
it shoots and then breaks.
Yeah, it shoots up and then it breaks and they fall down from where the projectile was, like a bomber, as opposed to in New Vegas where it just comes out and immediately it's a bunch of little clusters. Yeah. I love the Fat Man, and in general, I love the concept of the Fat Man to the point that it's so weird that it was introduced in 3. It feels like it's something.
The Merv quest for that is really good too.
Yeah. It feels like it's something from the original.
I fucking love Fallout 3. I know how you just say how you feel about it. I fucking love that game.
I love it too.
That game captured my imagination in such... Like, I mean, I'm here today because of it.
Yeah.
But, like, it captured my imagination in such a way where, like... I was having this conversation with someone else that we work with, and I was like, I am so out of science fiction, and I'm so out of fantasy... because it doesn't have any real relation to my world.
Yeah.
Like, even the D&D that I play, when everyone's like, oh, what kind of world is it? I'm always like, did you ever see Shrek 2?
Yeah.
You know how, like, Far, Far Away is, like, Hollywood?
It's basically cliche land.
That's, like what my... Like, it's imagine modern day, but elves and wizards and shit. Like...
You've never played in my D&D world, Terra Arcana.
No.
Because it is Earth.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's the 2800s, and there was a... Magic comes back during the 21st century.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Comes back.
Yeah. There's... The way I wrote it is, like, basically, imagine all the apocalypses happen. There's a disease, and there's nuclear war, and there's an asteroid and shit.
Yeah.
And then magic comes back, and so the world is healed. But there's only, like, 100 million humans across the planet, so we have to repopulate. And then there's also elves and dwarves and shit, because they fill in the areas we weren't in.
Neat. My closing statement, if I haven't made it apparent already, I don't believe in slavery, I don't believe in genocide, I think all that's wrong, but what I'm saying is, if you have to go through 10 years of bullshit to get 100 years of prosperity, get the NCR out of the Mojave. Keep them in California. At what point does the entire US need to just become NCR? At what point is it no longer New California and it's New America? And then you have groups like the Enclave that are rumored to be in Michigan, and I feel like that opens up so much more possibilities of the NCR getting wiped out. They had a good run. Go back to California. Stay on the entirety of the West Coast and call that your own. Just because you and I know the U.S. is 50 different states, I'm going to say 50 different countries. It could be 50 fucking different countries. As we know it as 50 different states doesn't mean that it has to be anything different than what we have now or what we're going to have. A sliver here, some spot there, a little bit here, get rid of Florida, and we're good to go. I just think that if we have a world where the Legion wins, it'll all be gone within 5 to 6 years, and then the Mojave gets to start anew without the influence of House. Because I feel like House starts up in 74, and by 77 the first battle happens, you get there in 81, it's been 13, 14 years, and already the whole place is like gone to shit. And I feel like House is the big thing that is the influence behind it, because it's kind of like, you ever hear the theory that aliens started showing up more after we dropped the nukes?
Oh, yeah, I think I have there.
It's one of those that, like, something turned on. Oh, there's light in this house.
Yeah.
Like, and then everyone shows up there. And I'm not even saying that House could be bad. I'm not even saying NCR could be bad. The Legion is bad.
Legion is bad, yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I'm saying is, have that slow ramp up, not just, and we're going all the way, and then it's over. It's just...
I feel that the NCR is taking plenty of its time. I mean, it's been what, 100 years since it was formed by the time of New Vegas, and it's just now made it to Nevada.
Just about.
I mean, that's not a speed run.
I wish we could talk about the She. I wish we knew more about the She.
That would be cool.
Just to be like, yeah, fuck you, but they're not the She.
True.
You know what I mean?
They're building a world that can be easily lived in, because the fact of the matter is that the Fallout world is very hostile. It's very hard to live in.
Yes.
And the NCR is trying to build a place that is easy to live in, that you can come here and you can build a life. And as far as the actual material outcomes of the characters in New Vegas, most of them benefit from an NCR victory. Most of them do not benefit from a Legion victory. And I think that the big picture approach might not be the best option for something like New Vegas, where in 100 years, the situation will be entirely different, because, we know there are things coming for the Mojave, the tunnelers and the cloud from the Sierra Madre.
Oh, yeah.
There are other things coming for the Mojave that would cause that hopeful future after the Legion to be strangled in its crib, but that the NCR might be able to mount a reaction to. I mean, there's manufacturing going on in the NCR. Maybe they have some kind of way to stop the Cloud, or some way to combat the Tunnelers. You know, having an army certainly helps when you're about to fight a war. The NCR provides for the people of the Mojave a chance to live and build a future that they want. I mean, and at the end of the day, that's what a government is for. It's to help shepherd the people toward the future. The NCR is doing that, the Legion is not, and that is why I support the NCR.
Good shit.
Good shit indeed.
Thanks for doing this with me.
Of course.
I got you something. Hold on, stay right there.
Okay, no.
So obviously, as you might not even be able to hear me, obviously I have the California Republic flag back here. So I want to give you...
Oh, you want to give me the little one?
My old one, yeah.
Hell yeah! That's awesome. Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Thanks for doing this with me. I really appreciate it.
Rep the Republic.
Jeez.
New California Republic forever.
Did you ever see the Tumblr post where it's like, why does he have one head? And it was like a modern day California.
You know what's crazy? Every time I'm at a cash register...
And it says NCR?
Yeah,
I know exactly. Yeah. That's what that stands for?
Yeah, it's the company called National Cash Register. And they were formed like, I want to say the 1800s?
Really?
Yeah, they're an old company.
Where are you going to put it?
I might put it up behind my desk.
Nice. I like how you're doing triangle folds. Yeah.
Present to a ranger's wife.
Thanks for doing this.
Of course. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Cool. I guess
I'm gonna have to head out in about 25 minutes.
Yeah, I know. That's why I want to do a.
Oh man,
anything you want to?
I was thinking yesterday, because man, I was a total write off yesterday, man.
Yeah, you were rough. You were
not
rough.
trying.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about it, and I was like, there used to be a hotel in Vegas called the Star Trek Experience, and it was like a really immersive themed Star Trek hotel with like Klingon waiters that would walk around and talk to you in Klingon and stuff. It was really cool.
In Vegas?
In Vegas. And it made me, and I was thinking about it, I was like, I would love to open a casino in Vegas called like Tenpenny Tops or something. Like make it an obvious Fallout reference. And then inside it's 50s themed, but kind of dingy 50s themed, like the Tops. And have it be a Fallout themed experience. I think that'd be fun. I would definitely go to it.
I'd pay a lot of money for that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people would pay money for that.
That's the thing that I'm afraid they're going to do, is they're going to do like a, hey, this is a live experience where you can go do it. Not that I'm afraid of it, but it's one of those where it's like, I am going to get tickets immediately.
Yeah.
And it's going to be one of those where I hope I'm not still at this point of fandom. Like, I feel like everyone goes through the, I like this thing, and then everyone goes through the, fuck you don't like it the way I like it.
Yeah, like, what, you're not a real fan.
Yeah, like, and you don't have any of these promo items. Like, fuck you. Like, you're an idiot. Like, go talk to women, asshole. Like, I hope I'm still not at that point, because I feel like I'd walk through and be like, that's actually, like, the color's wrong. Like, I don't want to be that guy who's like, it's a little more navy than it is royal, and it's just like, shut up.
You need to spend a lot of money, but then a lot of I would hire people to walk around and wait for people like you, and then when you're like, oh, that's not right, the right shade. It's like, actually, you just needed to check your color balance on your computer.
That's good.
If you were a real fan, you'd know.
Yeah. If you weren't a fucking idiot, moron. They fucking stone you to death right there.
If you read the comic, it's explained that this patch of carpet was replaced.
From issue 671 to 698. That's the level I hope I'm out of. Like parts of it'll show up, and like another part of something happened with the show. I don't remember what it was. There was one dude that back home. I love this like epilogue bullshit.
Yeah.
This one dude back home that I was friends with one person. They were like, "Yo, we have to go to this one GameStop. This guy knows a ton about Fallout." And he was like, "You'd love talking." It was fucking years before I thought about making the show, and I don't even think I was driving yet. This is how old this is.
Yeah.
And I get there, and I'm like, "What's up, dude?" I was like, "Home person tells me that you're really into Fallout." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I love this and that." I don't remember what he said, but I remember like physically going, "Oh." Like, because he said one thing wrong.
Said the wrong intonation on something?
Yeah, and I remember just walking out, and my friend's like, wasn't that cool? Like, I knew you guys get along. I was like, that guy's a fucking moron. Like, immediately was
Doesn't
just...
even know.
He doesn't know. He wasn't there. I was outside. Like... Yeah, just...
I was there 3,000 years ago.
Yeah, just like shaking, like... It was in the trees. Like... No, I would pay good money for it. They did it with Philly in the show. They flew out a bunch of influencers, a lot of Fallout people. A lot of people I follow.
Yeah, and they did that like themed photo shoot.
Yeah, and people were going up and like paying for shit with caps. I went to the Fallout meetup in DC. And I met Wes Johnson there, which I fucking bring up like every episode. He signed my copy of Fallout 3. Did I ever show you that?
I think so, yeah.
And I went and I made bottle caps. And I had, I spent hours cutting them out and like putting them on. And one guy's like, hold on, man, I got something for you. And he went and bought a 6-pack of glass Coke and like scratched off the labels. I have it at my mom's house. I got to bring it back next time I go home. And like put his own label on. It's like Nuka-Cola, like 1 of 6, like a number out of 6. And like, I think he put the date on it. And I gave him caps. And I was like, you realize this is a business transaction. Like I'm paying you. And shit like that lit my brain. There was a guy who was dressed as an NCR Desert Ranger.
Oh,
and
good choice.
So
I figured the coat would be hot in real life.
It was October in DC, so it was humid, but like it was only humid for a few hours.
Yeah.
And because I'm fucking about it, I made Sunset Sarsaparilla caps. I made Nuka-Cola and Nuka-Cola Quantum caps. And the Sunset Sarsaparilla caps, I put blue stars on the inside. So like I took a little paintbrush and just made a little star.
Huh.
So I gave it to and this is like the little shit that lights my brain on fire of fandom, is I went up to the guy in the NCR Ranger and I was like, my boy Malcolm might be looking for you after this. And he just looks at me and goes, a lot of people are looking for, like straight face. And I was like, and I went, yes, like in front of him. I was like, thank you for playing along. I was like,
yes, and motherfucker.
But like talking about toxic fandom, that was a time where everybody there knew lore from Fallout 4 and 76, but they're like, but nothing else. Like they're like, what year did the bombs drop? And I'm like on the date, I'm like, we met here October 23rd. Like today. Like today, 2077. Like it was and I even said in the video I did like after, I was like, guys, we gotta work on our lore.
Yeah.
Like we gotta know these things.
That would upset me to have to correct people's lore.
But like there was times where people were getting shit wrong, and I was like, it's this. And like I don't want to be that guy, but it's like no, it's this.
Yeah, no one ever wants to be pedantic. But then someone says something incorrect about something you love, and it's like, I really wish that you weren't an asshole about this thing I care about.
Yeah, they said something slightly wrong, and I'm like, I hope you just stub your toe every day for the rest of your life. Like, I hope you be
so wrong.
Yeah.
Don't you remember being 8 and this was your whole identity?
There's a question about like the Washington. Wait, which one is it? No, the Washington is just the pillar. Yeah, it was like about the Washington Monument, and I just remember going,
it's out there,
just right. It's like I'm right here. I love DC. DC's my favorite American city that I've ever been in, by far. Huh. It's also like not a state, so it's really good.
Yeah, it's like just like kind of.
But like PA isn't either. PA is like technically a Commonwealth, but I don't really know what that means. I wonder if this is interesting to anybody.
I think there's 5 states that are technically Commonwealths, and the only thing is that they call themselves a Commonwealth instead of a state. There's no legal.
Is it all Northeast?
No. I think one of them's like.
It's Nevada.
No, there's one out west. It's like Montana or Wyoming or something.
Really?
Fact check me on that. I don't like saying things definitively without checking myself.
Pennsylvania, Massachusetts, Virginia, and Kentucky. So it's all eastern.
Yeah, it's eastern, but Kentucky. I mean, there was a time Kentucky was the west.
I mean, this is the BS AI, but it's.
Yeah, there's no difference between a state and a commonwealth other than that they're fancy. Commonwealth.
Because my one uncle was like, how do you like living in a commonwealth? And I was like, I fucking hate Pennsylvania. I was also, I was in that age where you just hate where you're from.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks for this. I hope you enjoy this. maybe if this goes well and I need to film something again, we can do the synth thing.
Of course,
you're down.
Yeah. That is a very interesting debate, and I like that the game really has little to say on it.
Yeah, it's one of the few things I feel like Fallout 4 does exceptionally is tell you nothing.
Yeah,
and that's what I like so much about Bethesda's storytelling is when they do tell you nothing, you infer everything from just what's in front of you.
Yeah,
and I think that 4 does it beautifully when it comes to, hey, what's all this going on?
Yeah.
So, thanks for being here. You want to plug anything?
I don't have anything to plug.
Oh, we're shaking hands. Thanks.
It seemed like you were
it was more of like a, you want to link, here, give me the link to your PayPal so you can buy more Space Marines. See if anybody will donate to the Space Marine Fund.
Put my Amazon wish list.
Yeah. It's a Space Marine, one-piece bathing suit, Space Marine. A fucking like $700 graphics card enhancer. Not even the graphics card, like some thing that like barely works.
I was about to say, man, I would like a 4080 or something.
Yeah. How much do they cost?
The prices were fluctuating because like the CHIPS Act made them cheaper for a little while. The last time I was pricing them, it was like $300 or $400 for a
that's
decent, not like cutting edge. If you want like the stuff that just came out this year, you're looking at $2,000.
Oh my god! I heard Costco has really good deals on computers.
Yeah, Costco is great for electronics.
And I really want to get a computer to edit on, like a newer computer to edit on, and something to play Minecraft on.
You can play Minecraft, I'm pretty sure, on a potato clock. Mm-hmm. Like,
I am building bricks and shit because this is fucking Minecraft.
Fair.
I didn't even say anything. You'd have to say fair. All right. Thank you for being here.
Well, you are building bricks in Minecraft. That is one thing you do.
I don't know if I'm gonna outro with another thing. So if not, the music currently is Shayna. I'm not gonna do that. I'll just do it myself. Bye, everyone.
I am looking for angel investors in my Fallout hotel idea. That is because I think that is $1 million idea.
I think it's $1 billion idea.
Especially if it's released in like conjunction with like season 3 of the show. Yeah. If it opens, that's a good idea. And you could have like vault themed suites in the basement. Like you could use basement space and like make it all vaulted. I think the greatest contribution of Fallout 4 to the franchise is the change in the color scheme of the vaults from all drab to bright yellow.
But that's again like Fallout 4. I've outroed like 6 times. Fallout 4 has pretty much done so much minutia that's good. The combat. I like the building stuff. It's not for everybody, but like it's a nice addition. It makes sense that you should be able to build things up. I like also just being able to go, here's my plot of land. I want my house to be here because I like the view, I like the air, whatever. Shit like that. I'm not huge on the vault suits because they're a little too like... I think them.
They're iconic.
They remind me more of Fallout 1's vault suits. And that's what I like about the show is there's a mixture of like Fallout 1 and 3.
That's true. The vault suits seem cool.
Like, I like that a lot. But Fallout 4 does so much little things well. I think its dialogue, even though I shit on it constantly for being a voice protagonist, the way that the world continues to move while you're speaking, which was done in Skyrim before they did it in 4.
Yeah.
But the Skyrim, I still had to back out. Fallout 4, you can literally back out.
Yeah, you just walk away.
And like, there's like little things like that. Like there's so, and I feel like it's such kind of like a cop out when you go, well, this Bethesda game's not that great if someone doesn't like it. And then they go, well, think about the next one. But Bethesda always builds on itself. And that's what I like about it is like, Starfield, I didn't like certain things about Starfield, but I also like certain things about Starfield. Like, I liked the speech, how it was, you had to, like, spend points.
Yeah.
To, like, that I like. Like, let's do something like that again. I like how there's mini-games for... Originally, MedX was going to be a mini-game. And then Australia was like, we're not going to let you sell it here if it's a mini-game. Because it was like, you had to, like...
Yeah, and also, I think in one of the games, it was meant to just be morphine shots.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's what it was. It was maybe Germany. If it was morphine,
yeah, and it's like you can't be an actual drug.
Yeah, so they made MedX.
MedX, which is just a painkiller.
Yeah, it's just a little bit better ibuprofen. Cool. Thank you. This has been 2 hours and 27 minutes. That's going to get edited down to something.
Yeah, where are you going to find an hour and a half to cut out of this?
Oh no, it's probably going to be. Oh, okay. Bye.
No, I'm sorry. I was just stretching.
Thank you for being here. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Take Tip your waitress. Wasn't that great? A lot of things happened there. A lot of things happened right there. Talked about the NCR, talked about the Brotherhood. Hell, I think if you really sit there and listen, we even fixed the problems going on between Israel and Palestine. I do. I really do. Anyway, thanks for checking this out. I hope you enjoyed. My name has been Vince. That was my friend Spencer. I hope you guys have a great week. I'll be seeing you soon. Say no to drugs. Tip your waitress. I certainly love you. I feel something. Maybe it's too early to say that I love you, but it's nice. I'm having a good time. You're having a good time. I don't think are you listening to other podcasts? Whatever. It's not, I don't care. I told myself I wouldn't care. I'll see you next week.
Atomic Radio Hour Podcast.
A Ghoulman Entertainment production.